What are we doing tonight? It's been a minute. Miss y'all.
I wish I wasn't fat.
I wish I wasn't gay.
I wish I wasn't black.
I wish that I was brave.
I wish with every candle on the cake that I could quit doing these drugs, but I can't and I'm afraid.
I wish that I was
Put
smart.
down
I
for a
wish that I
minute.
was rich.
I wish it wasn't hard for me to grow up and
Put 'em
forgive.
I wish that I
Kinda
could help.
like-
I wish I wasn't sick.
I wish I was Tom McDonald. I'd be just like him.
I wish I wasn't sober. I miss it when the
wish I
party
wish I
wasn't
was.
over. Happiness was right around the corner. Every single night was like the best one of our lives. Now we're older. The good old days are out of reach. I wish that they were closer. I wish I wasn't anxious and I wish I could fast forward. And I wish that I could rewind, but they don't make that controller. I wish the nights were longer and I wish the days were shorter. And I wish that I could sleep enough to maintain my composure. I feel crazy. I wish that I was normal. I wish that I could kill myself but also be immortal. Take me to the oracle. I heard that time is borrowed. Can you give me back my yesterdays? I'll give you my tomorrows. Forget all of my morals and just live like I cannot remember sorrow. Before all of the tattoos and the cornrows, I was different, I was happy, I was calmer, I was young and full of hormones. Now I'm wishing for a time machine. I'd step into that portal and be gone.
I wish on shooting stars, or were they satellites? Maybe they were too far. Hey, ooh la la, I must have blown apart a million penny lights.
I'll take it down. How we all doing tonight? It's been a minute. Been kind of under the weather. I think I got I don't know, another case of that one thing that's going around. But I got through it quick. Because I thought ahead and I had a prescription of this certain thing. I didn't get it at Tractor Supply either. So anyway, 2 days, knocked it out. And I feel good. Feel fine. Been pretty much back to normal. Shout out to my Uncle Bud and my Aunt Cricket that were here at the house earlier today. It was great to see them. Good to meet my Aunt Cricket, 45, and you meet a new family. That's pretty cool. Anyway, I love you both. I'm glad you're here today. Made my day much better. Maybe next time we'll get on the microphones. And Unc, I'll hit you up next time I'm in your locale. Thanks for coming by again today. That meant a lot to me. And that's cool. You know, family means the most. And, you know, it'll, you know, have an involvement with your family in a good way like that. Kind of centers you, makes you understand what's important. And got a lot of words of wisdom out of my own today too, you know. Them OGs, they know what's up, man. You know. Sometimes I think of myself as an OG and then I talk to a real OG and I realize that I'm just a dumbass. So anyways. But I don't know, I just thought I'd get on here and say what's up. I hope y'all doing well. Hope everybody's cool. Missing Ricardo tonight. My navigator, he ain't here, so shout out Ricardo. Shout out K-Pook, Tommy Curdy, Vincent Bragg. God, there's so many people down. My boy Foss, Jesse Ballard, Jen, and Brandon, and God, I mean, I could go on and on and on. You all know who you are. You know who you are. My boy Tom. Tom, hope I see you tonight. Anyway, it's gonna be kind of a short one. There's just so much goofy shit going on right now. It never changes. It just never changes. And so I don't even know where to go with it. It's just, it's crazy. But I think that you probably all are feeling the heat of, you know, what's going on financially. And the concerns are that there's going to be a crash. Now, is the world able to afford a crash of the United States financially, economically, with the market and all this? And I think it's already happened. Personally, I've been saying this for a long time. And I've started to see different financial gurus using the same analogy that I've been using for quite some time, which has been basically the idea of Well, you all remember in 2004, there was the earthquake that hit the Indian Ocean, and the water receded. And unfortunately, you had those poor souls that were sitting there on that wet sand wondering what happened to the water. And it came back. And it came back with a vengeance. And I think, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I mean, and I'm not a financial guru, but it's scary when I see, I mean, I know that Robert Kiyosaki, I mean, he plays, he definitely looks at crisis as a chance to capitalize. But when you see the Peter Schiffs and guys of that nature talking about what's going to happen here, and they're talking soon, you get a little bit, I mean, what can you do? There's nothing that any of us personally can do about it. I mean, I'm just sitting here trying to think, okay, well, and I'm not trying to be any kind of a prepper or anything like that, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, there's not a lot that any of us individually can do. I'm going to, once again, I mean, I always keep gas cans full and stuff like that. Get some canned food and I don't know, see what happens. The chances are nothing happens. I don't know. I guess it depends. I mean, we just can't keep, the thing I guess I'm getting at is we can't just keep making up this money. Maybe we can. Maybe we're that big, but I don't think we're that big anymore. I think we've lost a lot of street cred out there in the global community. With these blunders that keep happening and keep going down. And I mean, we're leaving our people and those that have been our allies and assisted us, we're leaving them in the lurch. We're leaving them, I'm seeing things about, bodies being hung in Afghanistan. And, I mean, I don't agree with being there in the first place per se. I mean, there's, we can't play. I mean, I don't know. It's just a tough call. I mean, I definitely am not behind any country that's going to, treat people the way that these extremist groups do. But we have those extremist groups here in this country too. And I mean, all shapes and sizes, I guess. Does it make it right for us to go over there and police the whole thing? I mean, it started out 20 years ago with us going and chasing down this 6'5" Saudi guy that was on a dialysis machine and was supposedly behind the deaths of 3,000 Americans on our home turf. I don't know. I mean, the fact that they said they threw him over, whatever. I'm not going to get into the whole conspiracy thing about any of it, but it seems to me that it should have been a hell of a lot easier. And then you got George Bush Jr., or as my uncle called him today, a shrub. That was a good one, Unc. That was funny as shit. I mean, he wasn't a full-on Bush. And now the funny thing is that dude is like loved by the media and everybody that hated him. Like the 8 years of Bush Jr., everybody hated him. They hated him. It was crazy, I mean, nobody liked that cat. And everybody thinks that, everybody's pretty much sure that, still they like, I don't know. Who knows? There's always this, this election fraud, scandalous bullshit, and I don't know. Whatever. I just think that everybody needs to gain a little bit of autonomy over themselves. Reach out that hand to your neighbor. Get to know people's names. Understand that and I say this over and over, but we're not so different, and we're not doing or pursuing different things. We're all pursuing the same thing. We just want to live a good life. We want to be, we want to be as happy as we can be. Now, granted, I mean, I discussed this with some people earlier today, and I've discussed this over time, and you look back on the bad times in life, and sometimes those are the times you look back on with the most fondness. And you look back on the people that rode those times out with you, stood by you, did the little just the little gestures. I mean, it doesn't mean like somebody, giving you money or anything like that. Somebody giving you an "I love you," or in my case, I know when I'd get a letter or an email from somebody when I was in prison. I mean that meant more to me than any amount of money. And those people that did that, I mean, shout out Brooke Schuster, shout out to you, Terry, your mom, Sandy. Y'all are really good people. Always have been there. Always been good people. Always been solid. Rest in peace, Sticky Ricky. Yeah, oh boy, missed that fool. But I don't know. It's just we're in some weird times right now, and they're talking about the Great Reset, and I don't know about a Great Reset. There's a lot of people that aren't going back to work because I think that they got the chance to take the time away from it, and they realized that maybe they sat back and thought, you know what? Maybe what I've been doing all this time is just bullshit. I know I've gone through that. I mean, that's part of the reason I started doing this. And this is nothing. It's just, I'm just a jackass out here in Wyoming, just running his neck and talking to y'all. I mean, it's really not obviously I'm not, I'm nobody. And I'm fine with that. I'm maybe someday be a half of somebody. I don't know. But I mean, we got a lot of stuff going on here. I mean, this whole thing that's going on, and you got to be real careful with how you talk about these things now, because YouTube says they're going to shut you down if you're not following their narrative. So they're saying it's spreading false information. But when you talk about the one thing that nobody should take, right? And we all know what we're saying, and I'm not going to bring it up, but that thing is on the WHO's list of essential medicines. We have sent out billions of doses of said medication over the years. And to sit there and say that that's misinformation, I don't quite understand that when you're talking about an essential medicine. I mean, to me, it seems like there's just not so much money to be made off of that medicine. And that perhaps has to do with why it's such a problem. I mean, these powers that be, they're so thirsty, and they want everything, and I don't get it. I mean, you look at these guys that got all this dough. I mean, you got guys with $150 billion. It would take $20 billion to end homelessness. And I'm not positive on the numbers to provide third world countries with clean water, food, clothing. I mean, you could take the money that these characters have, just a little bit of it, a little bit. I mean, you don't think Musk and Bezos could chop off $10 billion off their little bank account and chuck it out there? And then you got this the cardigan sweater guy. He got called out by PBS the other day for his relationship with Epstein, and that was pretty funny watching him because he was doing it. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw that, but old, what I'm talking about. I'm hesitant to even say any names right now on here because I'm worried I've already been shut down once, and they cut me off, and I'm nobody. I mean, I don't have an audience. I got a few of you cats out there, and I love every one of you that tune in and listen to what I'm doing and what I'm saying, and I screw up all the time, and hell, who knows if this is even streaming right? It may not be. I don't know. I just roll the dice and see what comes out. I'm not a gambler, but I guess I'm gambling on myself every time I do this. So all y'all that have stuck with me. I appreciate y'all. Shout out K-Pook, Melissa Jones. It's just a whole list of people I keep thinking of that I'd love to have sitting here with me right now, you know. And it seems like travel's getting shut down. Life has changed, and it's just I sit here and look at it, and it's like, is it going to return to? Maybe it's not. You know, and I don't know. Maybe it's for the best. But the way I kind of look at it right now is like, I think that we're you know, I guess I'm trying to come up with an analogy, but if you're dumping, say, motor oil, which I've been doing a bunch of that, down a funnel, right? I mean, you fill that thing up to the top, and it sits there and it bubbles a couple times, but ultimately it goes to the same place. And I think that that's where we're going right now. And I think that I wouldn't say that we're going through this. Maybe it is a reset, but I think it's more of an awakening. And I think that people are waking up. And I think that regardless of what the oligarchs and the elite think, and whatever positioning they think that they do have, I think they're realizing that it's going away. I think people are wising up. I really do, and I hope that I'm correct in this. I hope people are realizing that, you know, first of all, we're officially. I mean, it's been announced that we are getting censored on anything to do with Google, which is YouTube. Google, I mean, you know, they are now the ones that decide what's misinformation. Now, to me, the First Amendment, to me, okay, now I might be wrong, and call me out if I am, but to me, you can speak how you would like to, as long as you're not, number one, inciting violence, okay? And, you know, I mean, honestly, I don't know what hate speech is. I mean, if you're going to say some dumb ass backwards shit, you know how you combat bad speech with better speech. To me, that seems like the ideal. That seems like that's what we're supposed to be doing is, you know, I mean, if I'm sitting here, right, and I'm saying some ignorant shit, then somebody call me out on it. You know, that's how you combat it. You don't combat what people are saying or thinking or doing. I mean, obviously, if they're doing things that are violent, you know, you obviously have to do something about that. And, you know, I mean, trust me, being an ex-con, I'm not going to say defund the police. You know, I mean, we need them cats. We do, you know. I mean, as much as I don't like the illegal establishment, I guess I should say, is I know that it's necessary, and those people go out there for the most part. You know, I mean, you're gonna have your bad seeds, and it sucks when those bad seeds come out and grow into a tree or whatever. You know, when you have your Chauvins, and you have these guys that, you know. I saw that, and I'm very sorry for the family. I'm sorry I don't remember the names. You know, down in Southern California, the 18-year-old girl that got shot by a duty officer, and they're saying they're going to pull the plug. She's 18. She's got a 5-month-old baby. I watched the footage. Maybe I didn't see everything, but I really don't understand why a man would. You know, I mean, apparently the two females were in an altercation, and the man pulls out his piece, and you see it. He pops off 2 shots, and one of them catches her in the head, and she's on life support. The docs are saying that she's basically brain dead, and they're saying they're going to pull the plug. You know, and that's an 18-year-old mother with a 5-month-old baby. And I don't see any reason why that type of force is necessary when you're talking about a couple of 18-year-old girls getting in an altercation. Now, I don't know. I could be wrong. I obviously don't have all the context, and I'm not saying that I do, but it just seems like that's a terrible tragedy, you know. And then you've got everybody consumed with this laundry guy and what happened. And, you know, I mean, it's just it's got to suck, you know, her family. I mean, they've got to just be going through agony right now, having lost their daughter at that age, and I'm not sure that anybody really knows. They got Dog the Bounty Hunter down there, and of course, you know, it seems like every time that, I mean, it's just weird. Seems like every time we've got something crazy going on with politics that, you know, you bring, why is Dog the Bounty Hunter down there? I mean, what's he, I mean, come on. Really? Like, I mean, I know that the FBI is a joke, but, I mean, you're going to bring Dog, you know, and then you see him on his dog, he's wandering around with that wrestler mullet and, you know, giving his opinion on things, and everybody's got an opinion on it. I mean, it'd be nice to see the young man surface and find out, you know, what transpired. I mean, it doesn't look good for him, but being from the area, I mean, I'm literally like 100 miles from where this all went down. And there's a lot of shit that goes down up there in Yellowstone Park and the surrounding areas. You have a lot of big players in the drug world that come and go from up there. And, you know, part of me wonders, like, okay, who did these kids cross? Who did they run into? Who did they, you know, because it seems like you keep having these players come out of the woodwork that saw them, dealt with them, you know. It makes me wonder. I mean, they're traveling cross country. You know, they had the incident in Utah. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, I guess. I mean, you've got a young lady who's obviously, you know, she's passed away, and there's nothing that can be done to change it. But part of me wonders is like, what? I think there's a bigger story in that thing. I just kind of have that intuition that you know, it's not what everybody thinks. I mean, I think people are ready to lynch this kid now. It doesn't look good for him. But number one, where's he at? I mean, the whole thing with he just drives back cross country in the van. The van gets returned to the family. He goes out to this, you know, this area, and then come to find out, you know, the family was camping together, and then they take the Mustang back to the house, and he doesn't come back. You know, they've been out there with, at night with infrared, looking for any kind of heat signatures. You're talking about a heavily, you know, wooded, swampy, nasty area. You know, I personally don't think he's out there, but they keep looking for. Who knows? You know, who knows? I mean, that's another crazy thing that's going on right now, you know. And I mean, we still got things going on at the border, and they said that now we're going to have a lot more Haitian refugees showing up at the border. And it doesn't seem like anybody, our administration doesn't even seem to give a shit, you know. You've got a lot of people that are showing up that are, you know, they're testing positive for COVID. If they're testing them at all, they're living under a bridge. The last I saw, there was like 24, what we call in the construction sites a blue room, which is a porta potty. They had like 24 of them there for like 10,000 people. And I think it's escalated. I don't even know how many are there now. It's escalated, and it's going to keep escalating. And there doesn't seem. I mean, we have to come up with some kind of a reasonable path to citizenry for people. You know, I mean, we are a nation of immigrants when it comes down to it. We are, unless you're a Native American, right? I mean, let's be honest. I mean, we all came here from somewhere else. And I can't really find fault in people that are trying to make a better life for themselves. And everybody says, well, do it legally. Well, my co-host, Ricardo, it took him like 20 years. You know, 20 years. And he came up here and went to the University of Miami, went to, at BYU. It was working as a team leader of a financial firm in Baltimore, also in Denver. And with all that, it still took him 20 years to get citizenry. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous to have it take that long, you know. And people aren't getting vetted. They're not getting. I mean, we've got the Afghanistan refugees, and you know, I mean, I can't even imagine what it would be like to be a female in Afghanistan right now. I mean, you know how bad the prospects were when you see people clinging on to an airplane and having the landing gear close and they fall to their death. They were willing to risk that to get the hell out of there. And we still have American citizens over there. We've got these creepy ass generals that, goddamn fly, these creepy generals that are, you know, I mean, who knows where these guys, it's all just such a bunch of smoke and mirrors. You know, it would just, what I think would be nice is for us to be able to take care of those that are here in this country who really do need, you know, humanitarian assistance. We have a ridiculous homeless problem. I mean, it's horrible. I mean, and we're going to come up with trillions more dollars to do what? To give to Wall Street? I mean, you know, you give everybody out a goofy little check, and you have people defecating on the streets, tent cities all over the place. And granted, you are going to have a certain amount of the homeless population that are people that do have mental illness, and they would prefer to be on the street. And you're not going to change that. But there's a lot of people out there hurting right now that are on the street. And I mean, really, most of us are one medical emergency away. We're one serious medical emergency away from being in the same boat. And yet we can spend trillions on these wars. And we can leave billions of dollars worth of military equipment in the hands of a terrorist the Taliban is a terrorist organization. I'm sorry. I mean, when you don't treat people equally, when you kill a man because he's a folk singer and you say no more music, no music, are you kidding me? That's not even right. You can't. I mean, you say no music, you know, and Sharia law. I mean, shit's crazy, you know. I mean, and the way that females are treated in that. Oh God, I can't even imagine. And so you look at those refugees that are coming over here, and those that we left, and then our commander in chief gives the Taliban a list of names of people that are okay to apparently get on a plane. How many of those people made it out? I'd like to see that. I'd like to know how many of those people made it out. And they say shelter in place. And we just, boom, all of a sudden just bounce. I mean, they knew what was going to happen. That you know, and old, you know, Sleepy, you know, he blames the military of Afghanistan, but those guys hadn't been paid in 7 months. Now, how many of you out there are going to continue to do your job if you ain't been paid in 7 months? That's a long ass time. I mean, as a contractor, there's times I've gone 45 to 60 days without getting paid. But 7 months? 7 months is a long time. I mean, you're going to have, I mean, you know, I mean, if you're a guy that, you know, fighting you're in a you know, an armed force of some sort, or what, you know, and you got a family to feed, and you're not getting paid. The Taliban comes in and says, "Hey, join us. We'll take care of you." I mean, what are they going to do? I mean, that's a, you know, until you're in those shoes, you really can't pass judgment on those individuals, I don't think. I mean, if you're doing something and you're not being compensated for it, you know, I mean, unfortunately, you know, money makes the world go round. I mean, you got to have it. You know, it's a shit deal. And I don't know what's going to happen with our economy. We can't just keep making up this money. I mean, it's all fictitious. It doesn't exist. It's not like it's backed with anything. It's just it's the upstroke of a keyboard, and it, you know, and I mean, it comes from the Federal Reserve. People are talking about the money being printed. There's no money being printed. I'm going to kill this damn fly. Anyways, I mean, it's just fake. You know, and it goes to Wall Street, goes to the banks. And then the schmucks go in to the bank and get a loan, you know. I mean, the real estate, it's all pretty sketchy right now. I mean, you can only prop it up so long, you know. I mean, and the thing is that the banks, they want your average schmuck to default. I mean, because of that money that you take in there, you take in 20 grand or whatever, your hard-earned cheese, and put it down on a house. I mean, to me, that's the real currency. But really, I mean, currency is just, I mean, Bitcoin and crypto is just, you know, it's and that's what scares the shit out of the Fed too, I think, is the crypto. But I mean, really, that's all of it is anymore. I mean, how many times has anybody out there taken a check in and actually gotten currency, cash? They're trying to get rid of cash. They don't want cash. I mean, they want everything to run through that card, through that account. And then what's going to happen when it crashes, when everything just blows up and implodes? This stupid fly. I've been trying to get this guy for a while now. I'm going to get this son of a bitch. All right. Sorry, this is going to get loud. All right. I think I got it. I hope. Hat back on. Anyway. I don't know what's going to happen when and if. I mean, a lot of these gurus are saying that it's coming, and it's coming within the next week or two. You know, and I don't know what happens at that point. Do you lose all your money? And if you take your money out of the bank, I'm sitting here wondering, what do I do? Do I just go get, you know, stocked up on things that I'm going to need? Plan on wiping my ass with a bird? I don't know. They're saying that the toilet paper is going to be, you've got 90, I think there's 90 vessels that are off the coast of California right now. Right off where I was locked up in Long Beach. And I know from watching those things come and go all day, I mean, we used to sit there and count the containers. And I'm trying to remember, the biggest one was like 22 high and like 200 containers long. And that's a lot of stuff. Some of those are reefer containers. And they're piled up. They're not getting sent back to China. And the ships just keep on coming. And, you know, we're facing shortages right now. We're going to be facing even more. The cost of everything is going up. I mean, and they're doing it incrementally. It's the same analogy as the frog and the boiling water. You throw the frog in a pot of boiling water, he's going to jump. You put him in the water and you turn the heat up. The frog's going to sit there and boil. And I think to a certain extent, that's kind of what we're doing right now. We're just watching these increments come at us, and it's just, it's the start of the tidal wave. And it's disconcerting to think about what's going to happen when the whole thing crashes, you know? And we don't have the, people don't have the know-how, the savvy, the ability to solve physical problems in the world. Everything is here, right here on this thing, these computers. It took me a long time to even figure out how to do what I'm doing right now, because I'm a hands-on guy, right? Like I fix things, I build things. I've always been a construction guy, and I know that I have a skill set that if things go south, I could certainly trade and barter. I have every tool known to man for the most part. I don't know what happens if we don't have fuel anymore. If we don't have power, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how this all plays out. I mean, I think we're at a crux right now, and I honestly think that, the way I kind of look at it is like, I'm not much of a chess player, right? I like playing chess, but I'm not very good. my kid, he's a good chess player. Like he can see but like when checkmate's coming. And I think that the elite and the oligarchs, I think they're seeing that it's already done. Like it's done. They're grasping at straws right now, and they're making moves that just keep it going. But I don't see how this thing sustains itself, because we don't live in a representative republic anymore. Those 535 people that we have in D.C., they're not your representatives. They're not there doing a damn thing for you or I. I mean, I made a video yesterday, and I didn't post it, but I was out on my bike, and I was out there in the middle of nowhere. And I was just saying, here I am. I'm out here by myself, and that's kind of how we all are. You're born alone. You're going to die alone. I mean, the bottom line, that is the harsh truth of it all. And these people that have this power that they think they have, they're going to die alone. They can't take it. They can't take it with them. What are they doing? What causes somebody to want one of those positions? And I mean, it's power. It's the need for power, and it's, the lobby, the lobbyists. I mean, you've got a corrupt system. It's very corrupt. It's beyond that. It's so crooked. And these are the people, that are making the calls for the 330 million of us that live in this country. Why are we letting this happen? Why are we so timid? Why do we just lay down? I saw that lieutenant colonel who put that video out about the withdrawal from Afghanistan. They're talking about, he's in prison right now. They're talking about 17 years. That's the type of person that you want in a leadership role. A man that is not afraid to stand up and, speak the words that need to be spoken. He called it for what it was, and he's locked up right now. It's not right. A guy like Julian Assange, WikiLeaks never was found to be, inaccurate on anything. And it came out, the CIA, they wanted his ass dead. Same with Glenn Greenwald, and I don't think Jimmy Dore's probably too far behind right now. Same with Aaron Mate, Max Blumenthal. These cats that are out there that are just calling it how it is and not afraid to call it anybody. It's fearless. And it's a great example. It's fearless, but but it's also dangerous for those guys. Because we are on the verge of some serious fascist shit going on right now. When a computer company, when big tech decides that they are the censors and they're the ones that are going to call the shots. Nobody knows what's going on with COVID. And the government and the CDC and all these organizations these people have made completely wrong calls about it the entire time. There's Dr. John Campbell. Look him up. He's talking about how the shots the jab has been administered in a bad way, and now we're looking at number 3. And I will tell you this: I was severely fatigued a few days ago. Severely. I lost my sense of taste and my sense of smell. When I had this last year, it was the same thing. I didn't get my sense of taste or my sense of smell back for 3 months. And who knows if I even really got it all back ever. However, the remedy that I chose to use this time when I felt it coming on worked. I'm not saying it works for everybody. I'm not saying it's the answer. I'm not presenting a medical opinion one way or another. What I'm saying is I'm sitting here talking to you right now, and 3 days ago, I wasn't able to do that. It is what it is. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I know what I did. I know the actions that I took to solve the problem. I can taste everything just fine. I mean, I knew it. I was sitting out there in the garage and I'm working with, brake cleaner on parts, diesel fuel, gasoline, motor oil, things that have quite a smell to them, and all of a sudden I realized, I'm like, I'm spraying something down with brake cleaner. I can't smell it. You tell me what that is, I mean, sorry about that. That's one of the major symptoms. And then not being able to taste anything. I mean, and like the last time I drank a shot of Tapatio just to see. I could sense the capsaicin, the heat. I could sense that. Couldn't taste it. So, I mean, this thing is going to keep on doing what it's going to do. We're going to have these variants, and I'm not going to say anything else about it just because, I don't know, I feel like if you want to talk about it, you can reach out to me, hit me up. I don't really often respond to a lot of the things on Bookface. I kind of tend to just say what I'm going to say right here. I kind of do the old post and ghost thing, like I put it out there and I let you all talk about it if anybody's even listening. And I don't even know if anybody's listening or anybody cares. It seems like that's a big problem too, is nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody, everybody they're like the frog in the water and the temperature is rising. So I guess you got to make the decision on, what it is you're going to do. I would definitely not listen to the cookie elf. I mean, that son of a bitch. Bad deal. And we got a humanitarian crisis going on down on the border. I mean, you can sit there and call people illegal or whatever you want to do, but they're still people. They're people. These are people. And it's hard to figure out what the right call is here. I mean, I think that people. What we need to do is we got to come up with a better path to citizenry in this country. That's number one. It can't take somebody 20 years to become a citizen. And we also can't let people come over that are, wishing to do harm. So where do you strike the balance and all that? First of all, I guess you don't just say that we got an open border and come on over. That's kind of a blunder. Kind of a big blunder. I mean, every other country on the planet, you can't just go rolling in. You can't. Tell me where the hell you can go. I can't go to fucking Canada. I mean, where can you just go rolling in and hey, no worries. I mean, I guess in a perfect world, yeah, but I mean, and I guess that's a whole different can of worms. But anyway, I don't know. Just some ramblings, some thoughts. Anyway, as always, I hope you're all well. Take care of each other. Looking forward to having my boy Ricardo back in and getting some of the other cats on the horn, getting you on the remote interviews and having some different folks in the studio and trying to get going on this thing a little bit more. It's all a work in progress, just like life. So y'all stay up, be good to one another. Love y'all. Peace out from 52 miles east of Jellystone Park in Coyote, Wyoming, the cultural epicenter of the planet. Be good to each other.
I wish I wasn't fat.
I wish I wasn't gay. I wish I wasn't black.
I wish that I was brave.
I wish with every candle on the cake that I could quit doing these drugs, but I can't and I'm afraid.
I wish that I was smart.
I wish that I was rich.
I wish it wasn't hard for me to grow up and forgive.
I wish that I could help.
I wish I wasn't sick.
I wish I was Tom McDonald. I'd be just like him.
I wish I wasn't sober. Miss it when the party wasn't over. Happiness was right around the corner. Every single night was like the best one of our lives. Now we're older. The good old days are out of reach. I wish that they were closer. I wish I wasn't anxious and I wish I could fast forward. And I wish that I could rewind, but they don't make that controller. I wish the nights were longer and I wish the days were shorter. And I wish that I could sleep enough to maintain my composure. I feel crazy. I wish that I was normal. I wish that I could kill myself but also be immortal. Take me to the oracle. I heard that time is borrowed. Can you give me back my yesterdays? I'll give you my tomorrows. Forget all of my morals and just live like I cannot remember sorrow. Before all of the tattoos and the cornrows, I was different, I was happy, I was calmer, I was young and full of hormones. Now I'm wishing for a time machine, I'd step into that portal and be gone.
I wish on shooting stars, or were they satellites? Maybe they were too far. Hey, ooh la la, I must have blown apart a million dandelions. Now they don't grow in my yard. Hey, ooh la la.
I wish I didn't care about the day that I'd be buried. Used to live like I was ready for it, always in a hurry. Now I'm worried, all my memories are blurry. I'm just barely turning 30 and the voices in my head are trying to hurt me. The choices that I made make me feel dirty. I was 25 or 13, I was smoking with the seniors, drinking beer and getting flirty. Now the Ativan ain't working, I need something even stronger. Give me childhood, my mother and my father and my sister and a Christmas to make up for all the recent ones I'm missing while I'm touring the country for a living. Give me a hug and a Nintendo and a toy box in the closet. Give me everything I wish I had. Oh wait, I think I got it. I'm a rapper like I always promised them I would accomplish. This is awesome, man. I wish I had a friend to tell. I'd call him, man. I wonder if I jump from here, if I'd survive the bottom, and would everyone believe me if I told them I had fallen? I'ma jump.
I wish on shooting stars, or were they satellites? Maybe they were too far. Hey, ooh la la, I must have blown apart a million dandelions. Now they don't grow in my yard. Hey, ooh la la. I wish we were kids again, before everything was on Instagram. Ayo, things were so simple then. Me, my tree fort, all of my friends. Way back when on Beaver Drive, when the floor was lava, I could fly. Ayo, wished I was big like then. Never thought I'd wanna be a kid again.